Hey, it's your friend Choice CJ here, and I'm bringing you guys today a very special team builder video. This is my team builder for the UBC finals up against the Toronto Luxrays, coached by my good buddy Turkey. This is going to be a rematch of our Week 12 battle, if I'm not mistaken. He whooped us pretty bad in that game. I think it was a 5-0 victory for him. He was able to get a good sweep with a nasty plot in Infernape. He set up one nasty plot and I had no chance against him. Just really got destroyed. We're going to need some good fortune in this game to come out on top. And, you know, of course we have had our fair share of good fortune in these playoffs so far, especially in the semifinal match against Immortal Men's. Our Zapdos came through with a really clutch crit against the Porygon. I still feel awful about it, but what that really means to me is we've got to make the most of this opportunity here. You know, we can't we can't just, you know, throw this game. We really need to give it our best effort, so that way, you know, our hacks and our good fortune are not in vain. You know, it would suck for Mence if he thinks he had a chance to beat Turkey, that you know, he loses to me, you know, just out of bad luck, and then Turkey wins because of that. You know, I want to, I don't know, I want to sort of honor his loss by giving it my best shot here. I've done my best to make a team of 6 here. I've built this team basically on my own. I often get a lot of help from friends when I'm building teams, especially folks like the Verd. But I kind of put this team together myself. There's some funny sets on here, but I think generally it should work pretty well. And I think the team of 6 that we have here really represent the 6 Pokemon that we really relied upon the most this season. You know, all my Pokemon put in good efforts this season, you know, but these are the 6 that I don't know. It kind of worked out that I identify with them the most. You know, these are the Pokemon that I picture when I think of this team. And we're going to give it a good go. So we're going to start off with a Self-Vest Reuniclus, Psychic Shadow Ball, Focus Blast knockoff. We have full physical defense investment, but with the Assault Vest, obviously, we increased by 50% our special defense stat. This is the Infernape switch-in that I did not have the last time. It's not really a good switch-in, unfortunately, because there's still a chance that moves like Flare Blitz and Fire Blast can OHKO us at +2 if he puts up a Swords Dance or a Nasty Plot and he's holding a Life Orb. He might not bring it this time. He might bring Choice Scarf and Infernape, which is what I was expecting the first time, because it's or, you know, I felt like it was his best counter to Lopunny. In reality, he has some pretty good counters to Lopunny, being Golbat, Slowking, Chestnut, Pokemon like that. I didn't actually, you know, point out his team, and obviously you guys could see it, but it's Gardevoir, Weavile, Infernape, Salamence, Chestnut, Slowking, Registeel, Ditto, Magneton, Golbat, and Sandslash. It's worth saying too that Salamence is actually a pretty good check as well to Lopunny. But yeah, so, you know, he didn't need to bring the Choice Scarf from Infernape like I had thought he might need to. And instead, he brought a Nasty Plot variant, which did very well. So again, this is my best bet to check that thing. It's also going to be really important that Hazards stay off the field, so that way this Reuniclus has as much health as possible when it comes in on that Infernape. And yeah, this is also, you know, just a generally good Pokemon versus really anything. Like, you know, Gardevoir and Weavile can beat it, but this can pretty easily, I think, take on Chestnut. It can take on Sandslash. It can take on anything. Sandslash will have to be careful of because I don't want to get knocked off. But this is just so bulky that it's just a good switch in for everything that like can't hit it with Stab, who's super effective damage, or is Mega Gardevoir. Just because Gardevoir is a monster. Next up, we have a Bronzong with Cassaberry and Heat Proof. The moves are Stealth Rock, Gyro Balls, Zen Headbutt, and Earthquake. We've put some offensive investment into this thing. because so I'm expecting like a Mega Gardevoir lead again, which is what he did last time, and I led off with, I don't remember what I led off with, something that didn't want to take on Gardevoir. I switched out into Bronzong, and he made a great prediction and went for Shadow Ball right off the bat. He did get a Spadef drop, which really spelled the end for Bronzong. But with this Casa Berry, we can reduce the super effective damage from a Shadow Ball, get up our Stealth Rock, or I could potentially just Gyro Ball. And to circle back to my original point, the offensive investment allows us to 2-hit KO Gardevoir even if it goes for a Will-O-Wisp turn 1. Like, that might be the play rather than go for the Stealth Rock right off the bat. But we'll see. I'm gonna have to play it by ear and see what the right thing to do is. Stealth Rock's just really nice to like break a Focus Sash on an Infernape or something like that. And that is also why we're running the Heat Proof, because it allows us to take potentially a +2 hit, and we can retaliate with Earthquake. Earthquake's also really good for Magneton, and it also hits Registeel for a little bit of damage. If that thing does not have Rest, we can eventually weaken that thing. And then Zen Head also hits the Infernape if we need. It hits the Chestnut, it hits the Golbat. So Bronzong with a little bit of offensive investment is a really good Pokemon versus his team, and we are Spadef to handle that Gardevoir as well as possible. I wish we could run Colbur Berry on this to lure in a potential Weavile. I really don't have an Weavile answer on this team, which kind of stinks. But there's nothing I can do about it. I just got to get up rocks and try and handle the game from there. He has some hazard removal options. He has the Sandslash, he has the Mence, he has the Golbat. But I don't think he's going to bring the Sandslash. Golbat probably is a good bring. I think it's fair for me to expect that. The thing is that Defoggers are less good for Turkey because he really likes spikes on Chestnut. And, if he's going to defog, he's going to be getting away his own spikes. So I can see why he wouldn't want to do that potentially. But yeah, that is the Bronzong set. I'm probably going to lead it. I'm going to try and get up rocks with it. And then I think even if he Will-O-Wisps turn 1, we should be able to still 2-hit KO with Gyro Ball. He might just switch out, but we'll see. I haven't decided what I want to do. Next up we have Gil Thunder, the Sneasel, with Knockoff Ice Shard, Icicle Crash, Poison Jab, Life Orb with an Adamant Nature, max speed. This is going to outspeed Salamence, Gardevoir, and things like that. This Pokemon is really important to me because I want to be able to revenge a Dragon Dancing Salamence if the need comes, because that thing is a huge threat. I use Salamence in the PMC, and I've used it in other leagues, and I know how scary that thing can be. But with his coverage, we do hit a lot of his team very hard. Icicle Crash hits the Chestnut pretty hard, hits the Golbat. Knockoff's really important for Slowking. Poison Jab is nice to hit a weakened Gardevoir. I really wanted to put like Low Kick on this thing to potentially hit a Weavile, but we're not going to be staying in on a Weavile, so I didn't think there was much of a need for that. But yeah, this Pokemon is just very good versus his team offensively, and again, it checks the Dragon Dancing Mence. So we'll do our best to get Sneasel in to do some good work in this game. Next up, we are bringing in offensive Zapdos with a Volt Switch, Empire Flying, Heat Wave, and Defog. The little bit of defense investment, I think, is to help us live like a +2 Flare Blitz from a Infernape or something like that, assuming that we are at full. But then we put the rest into special attack and put 100%, sort of full speed investment with a boosting nature. Because we want to speed tie again with the likes of Gardevoir. I think the defensive actually might have been for an Icicle Crash from Weavile, but I don't remember exactly. I actually made this team a few days ago, and one thing I'm noticing, I wish I could get one IV lower to take a little bit less Life Orb recoil, but I don't want to mess with the HP Flying IVs. But yeah, this is just very good versus his team. Hidden Power Flying is going to OHKO Pokemon like Chestnut and Infernape. Heat Wave hits. It also hits the Chestnut for like 88% damage. and it hits the Registeel. Volt Switch is just a great momentum move. Also hits the Slowking very effectively. Calm Mind Slowking is something that's a little terrifying to me, but we'll have to deal with that when the time comes. Then I did put Defog on here just because I don't want to deal with spikes if I can help it. But, you know, a lot of my team doesn't really care about it, but Reuniclus really does. Bronzong in this case, it also cares. And I don't really want my Hippowdon getting weakened either, and you'll see precisely why in a few minutes. But yeah, I think offensive Zapdos has a lot of potential versus Turkey. And he might be expecting a defensive answer. This is the hazard remover I chose rather than Blastoise because Zapdos can beat Chestnut very easily one-on-one. So because I have this, he's gonna have a hard time getting his spikes up, I think. And yeah, again, keeping those spikes off are so important. Next up, we have Lopunny with Fake Out, Retaliate, High Jump Kick, and Ice Punch. I think this is the first time all season that I'm actually running Ice Punch on Lopunny. And it's really good in this case because Ice Punch, you know, it is usually weaker than, Return. Like a super effective Ice Punch does 150 damage if it's double super effective, and Return usually does 153 damage after stab. But Ice Punch obviously hits the Salamence 4 times super effectively, and then it still hits the Golbat pretty hard. And so that allows us to dump the Return for the Retaliate. He does have the Registeel, he does have the Magneton, but neither of those Pokemon are really switch-ins to this thing. We're going to have to be really careful. I might even switch the High Jump Kick to Drain Punch. I've got to do some calcs to figure out which one's better. But especially with Chestnut, you know, something like Spiky Shield is going to be quite likely. And you could also run Protect on Registeel if it has leftover. So yeah, the High Jump Kick we're going to have to be really wary of. But Retaliate just hits everything super duper hard if something dies. Like, especially like, you know, if Weavile comes in, gets a revenge kill, Lopunny can come in and get its own revenge kill. I anticipate that we're going to be doing a lot of trading like that in this game. And I almost left Lopunny on the bench for the 3rd straight game, but it's the only way that I can potentially deal with Weavile. Unless he brings something crazy like Scarf. But yeah, this thing just comes in, and he does not have a great answer for Retaliate, or at least Retaliate into High Jump Kick. And again, I'll do some calcs to see what Drain Punch looks like. And if we don't want to run High Jump Kick, or, you know, we can potentially just hit, you know, like, the main thing is High Jump Kick's really nice for Chestnut. Like, I can hit the Golbat pretty hard and the Salamence pretty hard with the Ice Punch. But High Jump Kick is nice for Registeel and Chestnut especially. But if I can do enough damage with Drain Punch, I think I might just run that instead. But I haven't quite decided yet. Anyway, let's go on to the last set. My most fun set. It's either going to work really well or work really poorly. And that is going to be a Substitute Stockpile Toxic Earthquake set. We have enough HP in here so that we get a 101 HP Substitute, so that a Seismic Toss from a Registeel cannot break the sub. We've put a lot of Spadef investment into here. We put enough speed in here to outspeed Registeel, put the rest into defense. I don't even think this is really a win condition. It can be, like, if it's late game and Weavile and Gardevoir have been removed. But the idea here really is just to use this to weaken his team. Like, if we can get in on Registeel or Magneton, we can easily set up a sub, go for Stockpile, or go for Toxic, and force him into either his Weavile or his Gardevoir. And we can 2-hit KO both of those Pokemon with Earthquake easily. And like, if we have a Stockpile up versus Weavile, he'll have to go for 1 Ice Punch to break the sub, or 1 Icicle Crash to break the sub, then go for a second. And the second Icicle Crash with our Stockpile boost is not going to kill us. Same thing with Hyper Voice. Like, even though the Hyper Voice hits through the sub, if we get a couple of Stockpiles up, he should not be able to break our sub. Obviously, I would have liked to have run Slack Off on this, but I really need Toxic for the Salamence and for the Chestnut. And I need Earthquake for the Magneton and for the Registeel. I guess I could just run like Sub, Slack Off, Toxic, Earthquake, and that would be good too. But Stockpile is something I've been wanting to use on Hippo for a long time. So going in, like I said, the main goal for this is going to be to like kind of lure out one of his big hitting Pokemon, like Weavile, like Gardevoir. Basically, either cripple them or weaken them to the point that they can be easily taken care of by other members of my team. And if this thing does survive long enough, we can potentially win with it, depending upon what threats he has left. But yeah. That's going to be the team, you guys. You know, I'm happy to be in the finals. I hope we win, but I'm really just hoping for a fun match. It would be great to be back-to-back champs, but Turkey definitely deserves it too. And hopefully you guys hear all of that banging outside my house. But regardless, make sure you guys check out the game. It is going to be going up tomorrow. I think this is going to go up on Sunday afternoon. I'm going to be playing Turkey in about 30 minutes here. And we're going to give it our best shot. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you tune back to the channel for more gaming and Pokemon content. And until next time, I'll see you all later.